Hi, friends and strangers. Welcome back to Pam Shenanigans. I spent around 6,100, which isn't so bad because when you do the math, that's like around 300 plus to 350 pesos. Today, I will be talking about my Manila International Book Fair experience and my book haul. To preface this, I wasn't able to get as much clips as I want to because I was so focused on shopping. I was so focused on meeting other bookish creators, but I was able to buy a total of 17 books. 1 7. In hindsight, it's not that much, but to be honest, when I calculate the expenses, it's kind of okay, but it's not my usual haul. It's not my usual expenses. I went there with Pam from This Book Belongs to Pam, and we went there for 2 days. So it was a Thursday and a Sunday. So we chose to go for 2 days because we know that the weekend is going to be packed and we won't be able to get as much shopping as we can during Sunday. So we went on a Thursday morning. So majority of my shopping was done last Thursday. Sunday was for socializing, meeting bookish content creators, which I'll talk about later. So I went with my good friend Pam. We met at SMX and our first stop was fully booked. I actually printed out a map. I highlighted there the booths that I wanted to go to. When we went to fully booked, it wasn't packed at all. Like got to the point where we were even able to like sit down and look at the books that we currently have on hand. We were able to like film some stuff, whatever. At Fully Booked, they were offering 20% discount on all of their books, like all of the selections, regardless of format, regardless of genre. There were amazing selections at Fully Booked because it's like everything is already there versus like when you go to their different branches or the usual branches that I frequent, I usually don't find some of the books that I found at MIBF. So the selections were amazing this year. For the titles that I didn't get to buy, I just took some photos and I'll go back to them on a later date. I had a hard time pinning down the books that I need to buy. Like, I actually have a list with me of books that I prioritized buying. Of course, I scour the bookshelves for these titles, but at the same time, as I was browsing, I was seeing books that I didn't think of when I was making my wish list. I had a basket full of books that are on my wish list and that weren't. These are the 7 books that I got from Fully Booked. The first 6 I got last Thursday. Let's start with Fire and Blood by George Martin. So this is the book that House of the Dragon is based off of. Honestly, I'm very intimidated because it's a thick book and I heard that it reads like a history book because of the way that it was written. I think it was because it was written by a historian there. I forgot what it's called in the Game of Thrones world, but it's their version of a historian supposedly wrote this. But I love that there are illustrations inside, which added to like my excitement in reading this. The original price for this one was $672, but I got it for $537. The next one that I got from Fully Booked was Some People Need Killing by Patricia Evangelista. I've been meaning to get this book for months now. Like ever since it came out, I've heard only good things about this book. And the original price was $799, but I got it for just 639 pesos because of the discount. And I wasn't able to go to Patricia's book signing because she went there on a Saturday and I went back to MIBF on a Sunday. So hated to miss that, but at least I finally have a copy of this book. I'm also intimidated by this one because I know it's gonna pack a lot of punch. I'm going to be frustrated. I'm going to be angry about what's happening or what has happened in our country. But regardless, I'm still looking forward to reading this one. The next one that I got is a nonfiction book and it's All About Love by Bell Hooks. I've also heard positive reviews about this book. I haven't gotten or I haven't read that much nonfiction books this year. I'm looking forward to reading this one, and I got this. The original price for this one was 675, and I got it for just 540 pesos. So that's such a steal for especially for a nonfiction book. And moving to the next two books that I got, these are definitely cover buys, but I was discussing them with Pam before and my good friend Ella. And when I was searching for these editions before, I remember it being expensive, like 600 and above or like 700 and above. But these versions of William Shakespeare's Hamlet and A Midsummer Night's Dream are so fucking beautiful. Like, look at that. How can you resist buying that when you see them? Look at that. It's so beautiful. And the surprising thing was, I got this for 288 pesos from their original price of 360. I had to like tell myself that I only need one or two from this edition, but I got two because I was looking at a different title and it was on my cart. And I was like, no, two is the maximum for this edition. Another book that I got last Thursday was White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Salamat Scribbles and Books, MJ for the Budol. I have been hearing things about White Nights. Most of them are good. I've seen enough to actually want to read this, but since it's in a classic writing, I know I need to be ready. I need to have the good headspace for reading this one. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to reading a classic. Not this year, but maybe next year. I got this for just 144 pesos from its original price of 180. So aside from Fully Booked and National Bookstore, we went to other booths which were also marked on my printed map since these were in my priority list. There is Ateneo Press, Avenida, Penguin Random House Southeast Asia, Anvil, Adarna, Comicat, Anino Comics, Tanko Bonbon, and Balangay Books. So let me talk about the books that I got from these booths last Thursday. So starting with Ateneo Press, I got The Age of Umbrage by Jessica Zafra. Look at that cover. I got this for 250 pesos. There were some free books being offered, but Pam and I were kind of shy to get the free books that were just on the shelf at the Ateneo Press booth. I guess that's what you get for being shy, because when we went back last Sunday, there were no titles available, or we just missed them. But anyway, going back to this one, I also heard really good things about this one. I wasn't sure where to start with Jessica Zafra's works, but I think this is a good place to start anyway. I am excited to read this because it would be my first time reading Jessica Zafra's works. Another book that I got that has a very pretty cover is Anina ng Mga Alon. I got this from Adarna and I got it for 200 pesos. So it's written in Tagalog and it's a YA fantasy book. And I don't know which bookish creator I saw this from, but it's definitely a local one. And thank you for the recommendation because I definitely remembered that this is a good YA book. Excited to read this. Then from the Anvil Publishing booth, I got a Nick Joaquin book, which is Mayday Eve and Other Stories. I have been seeing the really, really beautiful covers for Nick Joaquin's books. I had to also tell myself to go back to the other works once I've read this one. I think I just need to have a taste of how he writes. So I think this short story collection would be a good place to start. And that cover is just so beautiful that it called to me when I saw it. It's such an eerie illustration, but it's so minimalist, but the colors are giving. It's so pretty. I got this for 195. I think it was already the discounted price. I'm not so sure, but I think it is. The next one is also a budol from Cat on the Jalico, and the engineer is reading. Sai, thank you sa budol. Because I got Maharlika, the first volume. So the story is by Rexy Dorado and the art illustrations are by John Ray. When I saw the inside, or I saw the art style, I was like, this is a graphic novel for me. And it's a treat because it's by a local author, it's by a local artist. We were also looking for volume 2, but that's still being printed. I think the last issue is still under development or production. I am definitely gonna buy volume 2. I already know I'm gonna like this, even though I haven't read it yet, but I'm definitely excited for this one. I got this for 600 pesos at the Comic At booth, but sobrang sulit kasi they also gave us a freebie for buying from the booth, and it's Comet Verse. It's their July 2024 issue, and it's a comics anthology featuring local artists. So some of them are familiar when I quickly browsed through this book, but some are really new. I am looking forward to seeing new artists because I like following them and I truly admire their work. So thank you, Comic Cut, for this free anthology. Then we went to Avenida and I got 3 books from there. So starting with Ricky Lee's Para Kay B. I got this for 300 pesos from its original price of 375. It's such a steal. I also missed out on having it signed by Sir Ricky Lee. Honestly, wasn't also sure where to start with Ricky Lee because he has a lot of works. He's also well known and well loved within the community. I feel like when I'm asked who Ricky Lee is, I always associate him with Para Kay B, and I only heard good things about Para Kay B. Some are hurt, some were heartbroken. So I don't know. I was like, okay, how will I feel when I read this? And the synopsis alone was enough for me to really get it. May kota ang pag-ibig. Sa bawat limang umiibig ay isa lang ang magiging maligaya. Kasama ka ba sa kota? Sold. The next one is Ang Kapangyarihang Higit sa Ating Lahat by Sir Ronaldo Vivo Jr. I also missed out on the book signing because he was there on a Saturday and I went on a Sunday, obviously. But look at this cover. I think this is the 10th anniversary edition, if I'm not mistaken. And I got this for 405 pesos from its original price of 450. Everything in the Avenida booth were also on sale or on discounted prices. I got book 1 first because I want to get into the story first. I want to see how the writing is. Then I'll get the next 2 ones or the sequels once I get into this one. I've heard only good things from Gerald the Bookworm, from Sai, also from Kat. So they've only sang high praises about this book. So I'm very excited. My expectations are high. The next book from Avenida that I got is from Eliza Victoria, and it's 17 Prayers to the Many-Eyed Mother. I have been meaning to get this online, but thank God it was also on a discounted price. I got this for just 280 pesos from its original price of 400. So definitely a steal, and I just know that I'm gonna love this. I read Dwellers, Wounded Little Gods, and After Lambanit just this year alone, and I absolutely love Miss Eliza Victoria's writing, so I'm definitely excited to read this short story collections. I think there are 17. Miss Eliza is now an auto-buy author for me, so whenever she's gonna release a book, I am here for it. I am gonna inhale that shit forever, whenever, however. Moving to our Sunday MIBF experience, since we've done most of our shopping last Thursday. So again, Sunday was for socializing, for meeting bookish creators. But first, we went to National Bookstore, which it was so packed that I wasn't able to get anything because I was just so overwhelmed. I was like, I can't think, I can't hear my thoughts. There's just so many people. Then we went to Fully Booked. There, I was able to get 1 book, which was Piranesi by Miss Susanna Clark. This is one of those books that also has high praises, but they say that it's a no plot, just vibes kind of book. So I am readying myself for that kind of storytelling, but only heard very good things about this from creators and reviewers that I trust very much. Excited to read this one. The original price for this one is 595, but I got it for just 476 pesos. And this is the only thing that I got from Fully Booked last Sunday. It was also so packed. Like, damn, people are still reading, which is a good thing. Like, I'm happy about that, but I was so overwhelmed. I'm like, thank God we went on a Thursday. The next book that I got is by one of the local bookish creators. This next book is where one of our main priorities that day. This is by one of the bookish content creators that I have admired, have only interacted with online for years, and it's Gerald from Gerald the Bookworm, and it's Ipinanganak Akong Bakla at Iba Pang Mga Akda. So this is his chapter book. I think it has around five stories inside. I haven't read it yet, but reviews are already up from other bookish content creators and they loved it. So again, this was my first time meeting Gerald in person, and how you see him on videos online, it's also the same energy that he brings in person. You just feel it. You just feel it, and definitely just good vibes, and he's very down to earth. He's always up for a chat, and gabi may pakis pa yung may pakis pa yan, oh. Nag-retouch siya. Nag-retouch siya habang nakapila kami, ganyan. And I just love that. I love Gerald so much. He gave us a teaser for the upcoming story that he is doing. Not to spoil or anything, it's on the last part of the chapter book. I'm definitely looking forward to reading more from you, Gerald. Congratulations, me. I'm proud of you, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from you. Then another book from Avenida, I got this last Sunday. It's by Sir Chuck Berry Pascual's The Vanished. So this is the English translation of Ang Nawawala. I was told that Ang Nawawala is still being reprinted, so it's going to be available soon, I think. But the sequel is available and it has launched. I just wanted to read The Vanished first, but I'll definitely get the sequel once I get into it. Sir Chuck was also at the booth and he signed my copy. Thank you so much, Sir Chuck. This was also in my cart for so long, as in gusto ko siyang bilhin sa Shopee. I got this for 384 pesos from its original price of 480, so this is such a steal. I am very excited to read this one. We dropped by the Penguin Random House Southeast Asia booth to get some of the books that we've been seeing online from other bookish creators. Some of the titles were already sold out when Kat from Kat and the Jellico introduced us to the author of Hawaii City, who is Claire Begita de Guzman. We had the honor of meeting her and having our copies signed. She also gave us lots of goodies, like a tote bag, bookmarks, and notepads, and even a notebook. She is such a ray of sunshine when you meet her and when you talk to her. She's just so awe-inspiring. It was lovely meeting her and having a short chat with her, taking photos, etc. I'm excited to read this one, and she sold us her personal copy because it wasn't available in any of the booths anymore. So thank you again, Miss Claire. So again, since medyo packed yung event, well, not medyo, but since very packed yung event, we had to be strategic with visiting and meeting other content creators. So we met up with Kat from Kat and the Jellico, Bea from the Confessions of a Pinay Bookaholic, Diane from Books and Then Some, Agatha from Agatha Feeling Reads, Sai from The Engineer is Reading, Trish from Trishu Paper, and Jean from Book Lure. It was really fun meeting some of the content creators that we've only interacted with online and having a chat about books and the books that we got, the booths that we've yet to visit or have visited. So overall, MIBF was fun and I'm looking forward to meeting other creators someday. Of the 17 books that I got, I spent around 6,100, which isn't so bad because when you do the math, that's like around 300 plus to 350 pesos. Already a steal for like brand new books. Definitely looking forward to reading these books. I don't know when, but I'll definitely get into them. So for now, I am on a book buying ban. And if you got to this point of the video, thank you so much for watching. If you went to MIBF, I want to see your haul as well. If you're looking at reading some of the titles in my haul, let me know. Maybe we can buddy read. Maybe we can talk about it. I'll see you on my next video, friends and strangers. Bye bye.